need reviewing. It takes a hell of a lot of work to review these standards.
Our standards are only changed if the community demands them to be too, and people are so accepting. I still say you go back and look under that sink and you'll still see all those products that we've...
Not at our place.
Not at your place? Okay. Well, that's good, because I do want to talk about alternatives, and you've touched on, with nappies and stuff like that. Let's talk about cleaning products. Are there things that people have in their home, for example vinegar, which you mentioned before, and I'm a big vinegar fan because I use it a lot, but are there things that occur naturally that people can use to clean rather than going down that supermarket aisle and stocking up on all those different cleaning products?
I think
There's stuff called water.
I think the big furphy...
Water doesn't get red wine out of the carpet. Now, come on. Let's get serious.
There are things out there, and I think the big furphy is that most people have this thought in their head that environmental cleaning products are more expensive. In general, they believe anything environmental is more expensive.
Well, hang on, is that not true?
That's not true. No. Absolutely not true.
If I compared the leading surface spray, if I went into a natural store, I'm going to pay double the price, aren't I?
No. What you've got to look at the overall perspective of this. The first thing is that most of the environmental products are in a concentration form. So you get the option of what you dilute it down to. You can use most of the cleaning products from everything from window cleaner right through to removing your red wine out of carpet. And it gives you the option to dilute that down.
Dilutions for each
so when you go to your Coles and your Woolies and all of these mass chain stores, you end up buying one for another, one for this, one for that, and one for every other thing.
Paying for lots of packaging, lots of water.
The majority of it is water. Now, we talk about Omo, a basic thing, or a Fab, or anything like that, a standard run-of-the-mill washing powder. 90% of that powder is filler. Now, that means salt. In general terms, it's salt. Now, we have products that fall off the trees. They're like a fruit, and they're the shell of this fruit, and they're a natural
they're
product.
They're actually called soap nuts.
They're called soap nuts. And you can put them in a little sock, or you can put them in a stocking or in a bag. You can throw those into your wash. You'll get 5 or 6 full loads out of those before you have to throw another 4 or 5 nuts in there with it. So they're nice and easy, they're cheap, and they're reusable. They're more than grey water friendly because they don't turn the water acidic for it to go into your backyard, which is a big issue with a lot of cleaning.
Well, alkaline too. Too alkaline or too acidic is also
so there's plenty of alternatives. The issue is be informed. Everybody should be doing their homework on these things.
But just because you think, okay, vinegar's natural, tea tree oil's natural, eucalyptus oil is natural. Yes, they are. But they have to be used in diluted forms. They can be very caustic as well.
When you do clean with vinegar, as Cree was saying, you should be diluting it fairly heavily, and then after every 5 to 10 cleans that you might do your windows with or your benches or whatever else, you then need to use an alternate product to clean that down again, because you will end up building residues. And you'll see this in your shower. A lot of people use vinegars in their showers, and you end up with this growth building in the corner. That is the build-up of vinegar. And it is then growing its own little form of healthy little science project there in the corner.
Is it really? Wow.
Yeah. So
and also,
you're
it's not great for rubber seals and things like that.
It erodes them.
We're not saying don't use them. Just
use them sensibly and dilute it.
Yeah, and where they should be used. So
you're really both advocating a complete radical change of life in the house.
Throw out all that.
So
crap and
I think it's more. I don't think it's radical. I think it's just a matter of understanding the marketing and the principles behind all of the things we're told. And the bottom line has always been, in every seminar we do and every group that we talk to, we basically say to them, become informed.
But is it hard? The question is
it hard to live that way? What can I use instead of bleach? What can I use instead of this? What can I use instead of that?
And you've got an answer.
Basically, I want to know what we're using it for in the first place. I don't think there's any place for bleach in the home.
Especially
that's one of the first things I would get rid of.
Well, I've never had bleach in the home.
So many people don't think their toilet's clean without it. Some people don't think their sink's clean without it. They can't clean clothes without spraying them with that first, or soaking them first, or nappies. It's absolutely unnecessary product. If you want to whiten things, you can use a bit of lemon juice in the wash. You can actually use a little bit of vinegar sometimes as well, but you don't. Why do we need that t-shirt whiteness of everything? It's basically our standards are ridiculous.
Again, it's from the marketing exercises.
But I mean, after actually probably before I throw out the bleach, I throw out the pesticides. There's no place for pesticides in a home. This is a really scary product. Pesticides are designed to kill things, and we keep them under benches, under fridges, in the bottom of cupboards, in the back of cupboards, under beds. We keep them where children can get at them as well. It's not it's not just direct contact. It's not just if they swallow them or chew on
smelling them.
Or it's being exposed to them anywhere in their environment. They are so not necessary. If you've got children in the home and you're using pesticides, you should have your head read. Really should.
There's a case in Armidale a few years ago where a very well-known pest controller, brand name, went through and sprayed for cockroaches and spiders in a home. And within the next month, the family of 5 that was there all ended up in hospital with chemical poisoning. The house was then deemed unlivable. They demolished the home. The home was so badly pesticided that they actually built the house another 20 metres up off the side of the block because they couldn't rebuild it on the same site. This company had to fork out $1.2 million for rectification of all of this. So, money's one thing, but money never replaces health and long-term health.
And these things you never get those things out of your system.
You can't get rid of them.
They're there.
Once they're in, they're in.
Well, you're we've got to wrap up fairly soon. You're describing an extreme example there. What about the people listening who say, oh, well, I've been using these products for years, my mum and dad have. We're fine, our health's very good.
We hear that all the time.
And then you ask a few more questions and you realise, no, they're not healthy at all.
So they might have a child who has a behavioural disorder and they don't put it down
a recent study where they looked at levels of pesticides in children who had acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is a reasonably rare form of leukemia, but it's on the increase. It's one of the fastest growing forms of leukemia. They found that over half the children tested had high levels of organophosphates in their urine. So they're a common household pesticide. They were developed as nerve poisons, in World War II. That's what they were developed for originally. There's another study where mothers were exposed to pesticides from professional exterminators, and they were 3 times more likely to have a child with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma than when the child was directly exposed because somebody sprayed the house while the child was around or came into contact with the home. They were twice as likely to get the disease. So, these diseases are increasing. As we say, they may not look at allergies and hay fever and eczema and psoriasis and some of these kind of chronic diseases. People are just accepting them as part of everyday life. It's not supposed to happen. We're not supposed to get them. But they're definitely alternatives to pesticides, heaps of alternatives.
So bottom line is we've spelled out a rather grim scenario tonight about, and rightly so, because in the home there are a lot of grim things that people might not be thinking about, but there is something people can do. They can make changes. We haven't had a lot of time to cover a lot of those changes tonight, but you're having a workshop fairly soon. Tell us about that.
We've got a nutritional expert talking about food additives and the best kind of foods to eat when you're pregnant and when you've got babies around the house, and also what to avoid. We've got a naturopath discussing the type of supplements and the things that help with pregnancy, help with staying fit and healthy while you've got young children. And then we're going to discuss also the hazards around the home and what you can do about them, all the alternatives that are available.
So it's very well organised and very well run.
It's going to be great.
And the best part is it's free.
It's free.
Absolutely.
And we just want to raise awareness in the community. We want young families to be involved and start to educate themselves as well and meet other people that think the same way.
Re-educate themselves. I think, David, you said the parenting instinct is still there in spades. People want to do the best by their kids. They just don't know how to do it. And a lot of parents, new parents, are thinking, I want to do things differently. But go into the supermarket, like you said, the options aren't there to do things differently. So you're going to explain all that during the workshops. Yeah,
unfortunately in the large shopping centres, there's no one guiding you, there's no one assisting you and saying, look, this product might be better than that product. We're not about telling you what to do and what not to do, but as we have always said, when you're informed, you're going to make an informed choice.
It's not difficult to make the changes.
No, it's not at all. It's just a matter of being aware of the options available.
In the end, you're actually saving money because you don't need half the stuff that
Throw
you
it
bought.
out.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, you've got a great start because people, especially parents these days, they're thirsty for knowledge. They want to be informed. So hopefully people will take advantage of this. If they do want to, they can either call you at the G Warehouse. What's the number that people can call you on?
6581 2411.
Okay, and if you didn't get the number, no problems. Call us at 2Way FM and we'll be happy to pass on any details. We're 6585 2233.
And if we get too many people, we'll put on another workshop.
Yeah, no one will be rejected.
No one's rejected.
Very good. Thank you very much.